You're telling me you're an Esper, right?
As a person who's lived in St. Louis City,
God, it's on me.
it's wild as a motherfucker.
Okay.
Like it's like unrealistically wild. Like, I feel like it's like Grand Theft Auto.
In New Orleans,
Play
we in
it
New
out.
Orleans, bitch.
Talking about is we have a problem with our youth. They don't have anything to do. So the idle time that they have, they can't go to the park district. They can't really participate in extracurricular activities at school. Using their intelligence to like do crime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
PROJECTS.
Music video. We are. Right, we having a blast.
You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
This is a really sad story that I'm about to tell, but looking back on it now, it's actually quite hilarious. So I'm going to try to explain it the same way I explained the story the first time. Anyways, y'all. So, okay, boom. I got a dog. Then, because, you know, a lot has happened this year, so I was basically like, I'm sad. I want a dog. Like, we both want a dog because reasons. I let him go and pick the dog, and I guess that was my first mistake. So, we named him Seven. It was so cute. He was like 8 weeks old. That's a crucial detail. Remember that. And he had the like nicest fur or whatever. He was just an adorable little baby, a little puppy. A couple days later, I started noticing he had this little head tilt. And I'm like, a head tilt? What's wrong with him? So when I looked at him, I was like, oh, he's blind in one eye. Like, okay. And see, that didn't bother me because I was like, blind in one eye? Okay, that doesn't matter. Like, he can still see, he can run, he can do whatever he wants to do. Being blind in one eye is not bad. Like, we can still take care of him. We can still love him. Do. Less than like a day later, then he started having this head tilt. And I'm looking at him like, oh, I'm thinking he has the head tilt because he's blind in one eye and he's tilting his head so that he can see. Again, did not think anything was wrong with it. But then the head tilt started getting worse. I did some Google researching to like scare myself, of course. And it came up to something called the vestibular disease when dogs have like a head tilt or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I've never heard of this shit before. So I literally took him to the Humane Society. And so the Humane Society had told me, they were like, yeah, he's okay. He's doing really good. He's real healthy. The only thing that's wrong with him is that he has neurological problems. Like, what? We thought he had neurological problems. I was like, he needs to be with somebody that could actually, like, take care of him because that's a lot. And we had to get, like, an MRI and some other stuff that also cost a lot. So while we were at the Humane Society, well, can you take him? Because he required a lot of medical attention, you feel me? And the Humane Society was like, we don't take dogs with neurological problems. No. I'm so serious. They wouldn't take him. I sat there and was like, well, if y'all not gonna take him, I'm gonna take him. Like, I'm gonna sit here and take care of this little boy. Because he was a baby. And so then, you know, I got him in the house and stuff. He running around doing what he needs to do, trying to get everything for him. He got so much better. He was jumping on the bed and stuff. Like, he was getting food and like moving around and whatnot. Started screeching one night. It was over. I just knew it was over. I was so sad. I was like, oh my god. So I had rushed him to this 24-hour vet that was 40 freaking minutes away from my house. Like, I'm trying to like speed to get him to the vet. Only for when I got there, they were just like, ma'am, there's nothing we can do. They basically came back and was like, yeah, so he passed from meningitis in his brain. Meningitis. Okay, so like, moral of the story, Seven just needed a home. Really needed somebody to love and care for him. And I'm pretty sure that's why he was chosen to be with us. That's very traumatizing. Especially with our dad just like passed within the same time interval. So I was also just like, this is very sad. This story is quite hilarious. Like, I'm sorry about your dog. Like, rest in peace. But like, meningitis? Yes. Meningitis.
talk, let's chat. Let's talk about cinema and like TV and film and just entertainment in general. Cinema is literally the very essence of life. And I want to say that because, number one, you know, they say photographs are the things that like capture moments in time. Well, I feel like film itself actually captures the moments in totally like seeing somebody in real time, kind of like time travel. Like if you look at movies from like the 2000s, you can tell that a certain movie was made in 2000 with, or like you can tell, like, how do I put this, like moments in time, just seeing how time just like has changed is also amazing. Like guys, I'm making this video right now, and 20 years from now, hopefully my kids or somebody will see it and be like, damn, she really did that in 2023? Like, yeah, I did, and this is actually happening like right now. Crazy, right? Cinema in itself, and I think that's one of the reasons that I want to be a filmmaker, because the other thing I like is storytelling, and cinema is literally like storytelling, telling someone's story at a moment in time. And it's crazy because we all have a story. Like we all are the main characters of our own story, and I just feel like being able to create that, being able to capture those moments and put everything together like a big puzzle, that's actually kind of cool. And then the film industry itself are like actual cinematographers and actual people that take the craft seriously. Like when I think of a really amazing TV cartoon, I think of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think we all kind of think of that. And when we think of like cinema, truly is just like its own thing. In movies, TV, all that stuff, when I think of that stuff, I truly believe somebody took the time to sit there and write a story, because honestly, making a film is not as easy as some people think it is. Like, you high-key require a team, you have to hire actors and makeup artists and all that good stuff, and it's like, imagine trying to do that and being broke. Like, imagine trying to do that and just now getting out of school. Like, but in general, it is a lot of organization. Because some people don't need to be organized, but in my opinion, I do think filmmaking is a lot of organization, especially with like what equipment you need to use, especially with making a shot list or different locations. Like we have location lists if you need to do a scene again. Like people just don't understand it. Like there is a lot that goes into planning a film, and then a lot that goes into actually like executing and making the film. And so I don't think any filmmaker is a terrible filmmaker, because like it's your art. Like film is art, and people don't think of film as an art form, but it actually is. So that's my other take on like cinema as well, because I feel like Jordan Peele creates works of art, black art, in my opinion. And it's also like black horror, which is a genre that we have never seen before. And so since he created that, like for the past couple of years, people have been trying to recreate what he made with black horror, and it's just kind of like black trauma horror. But essentially all of Jordan Peele's like recent movies have been pretty top tier in my mind. I enjoy Jordan Peele's directing. I would like to direct with him someday, or learn something from him someday. That would be really fun. But also like just in general, his wave of filmmaking, his style of filmmaking, and people are just like, yeah, his style of filmmaking, blah 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 blah. Jordan Peele's style of filmmaking is so different because it's not what people are used to. Because number one, people just don't believe that stories with black folks can work, especially with black people as the main characters. You feel me? And so the other thing about Jordan Peele's filmmaking is that he's not afraid to make a statement. And I think a lot of filmmakers kind of need to be like him in a way, where they're not afraid to actually make the art that they want to. That's what I think people should do. Especially if it's like you can't please everyone. So I think when you make a film, you should try to please yourself the most, or you should try to, I don't know, do what you feel. That's what I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, there are a lot of like directors that I really like. Martin Scorsese is one that I enjoy. I've actually watched a lot of his films, and I had to like go down his discography of films. I hope I said that word right. And I had a class on his filmmaking actually, which was kind of wild. But we would steady watch his films, and I like how a lot of his films deal with narration to tell a story, and a lot of his films are cinema. Now, since I brought up Martin Scorsese, I want to talk about the whole Marvel is not cinema debate between him and Marvel, because to a certain extent I kind of agree, and not because it's bad. I do not think Marvel is, I mean, I have my own opinions on Marvel, but I do not think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is bad. However, I do think it's very weird how they have all of these different movies that are directed by different directors, and all of the movies look and feel the same. Now, okay, I know there's going to be some of you little booty holes in the back that are going to be like, well, yeah, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's supposed to look the same. Everything takes place in the same place. Yes, you do have a point, but what I'm getting at is there can be many stories told in different sequences, which is again cinema, or I want to say, I guess, organization, and where you can tell the same story, but you can switch it up a bit. Like I feel like cinema is so interesting because you can have the same story and have two different directors make two different films with the same story. So like, for instance, so I'm going to think in terms of anime. So like, for example, if you watch anime, there are two versions of Hunter x Hunter. The 1999 version, which is like very dark and gritty, and then the 2011 one, which is very uplifting and light. They tell the same story, but the 1999 one is like way darker, like way quote unquote scarier, way twisted, whereas the 2011 one is very lighthearted, kid-friendly, like anime. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the same story, but they're animated in two different ways too. So it's like, when I think of Marvel, going back to Marvel, okay, sorry I got off track, but going back to Marvel, when I look at all of the other like films as a whole, I don't even think they've been directed by different people. Like, they seem like they've been directed by the same person. I don't feel like they've been directed by different people, because I feel like everything is just formulaic. There it is, formulaic. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I think that gets really tiring. And then the other thing about the Marvel versus Scorsese debate is that there are no stakes in superhero movies, essentially. Like, at the end of the day, we know the heroes are gonna win. Like, that's the point. And I know you people in the back are just like, okay, but in Infinity War, everybody lost. Yes, that's called having a plot. They were supposed to lose in Infinity War so that they could what? Win in Endgame. You feel me? So when we do stuff like that, it makes us know that at the ending, we're going to get what we want. The heroes are going to win. Which is like, when you have Marvel Netflix, for instance, like, the hero did not always win. How do I say this? Like, Marvel Netflix was a time, and I actually enjoyed Marvel Netflix because it was your superheroes, yes, but it was not your typical superheroes. Like, there was a lot of nitty and gritty that went into most of those, except like Iron Fist. I didn't like that, but there were a lot of like, not me over here gushing about Marvel. I don't even watch Marvel like that. I'm just saying, like, I used to be a Marvel Netflix girl. I have not watched any of the shows on Disney Plus. I do not have Disney Plus, so if anybody wants to slide me their Disney Plus password, right on. Ultimately, what I'm getting at here is that when Martin Scorsese said that Marvel movies are like roller coaster rides, I could agree with that. They are purely for entertainment, which is not a bad thing, but like after a while you kind of just want them to do more. And you would think with Marvel being a big studio, because they are literally partnered with Disney, they could do that, which is why, again, back to Marvel Netflix, I think Marvel Netflix shows were better in terms of story because it was more, I guess, realistic, and because there were more stakes. Like, yes, we knew the characters were going to quote unquote win in the end, but most of them kind of did not, and most of the stories were kind of like, how do I put this without sounding like a weirdo? Guys, I literally have a degree in TV and film, so like, I know what I'm talking about. Stories were more fleshed out and more, we could see the character and how their abilities affected them, because I feel like that twist on the Marvel characters is what led people, or is what led Amazon Prime to make The Boys. Like, The Boys is a significantly great TV series, and it plays on a lot of things. If y'all have not seen The Boys, y'all should really check it out on Amazon Prime. Not I'm over here promoting Prime, but like, it's actually a really good show. The Boys is actually cinema. Like, compare the Marvel universe to The Boys and to Marvel Netflix. There's a whole different ball game of stakes, of tension, of drama, of whatever. And then The Boys is also very stylistic in its choice of direction. It's gritty, it's gritty. The tone is like kind of gross, like it's dark, it just has a lot of flair to it that I think makes the show really good, in my opinion. But moving on from superheroes, because I've been talking about them for a while, the other thing that I want to say about Scorsese is that when we talk about cinema literally is, like I said, the essence of life. So if you've ever seen any of Scorsese's work, like, one of his most popular is The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm sure people have seen The Wolf of Wall Street, or Mean Streets is one of Scorsese's really good ones, or Goodfellas is also a really good, it's a gangster mafia film. Anyways, those are the 3 top Scorsese films I can think of off the top of my head right now. He also made Hugo, I believe. It's like a Christmas movie. Anyways, I want to say that because most of his movies actually deal with real people and real stakes and like kind of like their life stories. Like The Wolf of Wall Street is about, I think his name is Jordan Bell, don't quote me, but basically like how he became the Wolf of Wall Street and what went down, and you know, just like the stakes, like his life story. Or I don't think cinema is dying. I just think people are not attentive anymore to actual films, and they're so impactful with the like action, boom, shoot 'em up, that people don't even pay attention to like other movies besides that. Because how many Fast and Furious are we gonna make? Like, kind of how I feel about the Marvel movies, because I do think they are movies and I do think they are art. Because first off, creating a whole world also takes a lot of work, so I will give Marvel that, especially because they're the only superhero team that's really got it, even though I'm really upset about that, because I prefer DC characters over Marvel characters. That's just me, don't shoot the messenger. But like, DC has not been great, so like if James Gunn can change the DC around, I'd be satisfied, because I'm not gonna lie, the James Gunn, the Suicide Squad movie actually is fantastic, and I put that on one of my like best movies list, because I think it just gets the story, it gets the point. See, what I'm trying to say is, I think cinema is in the eye of the beholder, number one, but we are all entitled to our opinions. However, I do think there's a difference between having movies that are just purely entertainment, which is Marvel, and then having actual like movies, like Scorsese's actual movies, like, you know what I'm saying, like and then there are some movies that I think just, I don't know, I mean, everyone's a critic, so like, I don't think y'all want to hear my opinion that much. I've been talking for hellas. Cinema to me is a beautiful thing, because again, you can tell so many stories in so many ways and do so many things with it. Everything Everywhere All at Once, I want to use that as an example, because not a lot of people saw the film because it was low budget and quote unquote indie film, but I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of the best movies I've ever seen, even though it was like a real low budget movie, because they really didn't spend a lot of money trying to make it. And I really enjoyed the movie because one of the things that they did was have practical effects as in like they had to physically build the effects and physically make the effects to make the movie work, and they had to use different camera techniques and camera tricks to make it seem like they had a big budget. And I love seeing stuff like that, because I'm one of the person like, oh, something happened, we gonna figure something out, we gonna make something work. And I always think that that is very impressive when you can make a phenomenal film and have a beautiful looking film and not have to spend too much money. And you can tell, like, there are some films where you can tell that people really enjoy their craft and they really want to make something special, and I think that is an amazing thing, because again, film is art. In my opinion, just seeing the amount of stories you can make and the amount of things you can do with film is just amazing to me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really want to be a filmmaker. Like, I really want to tell stories from my perspective, especially stories that I know will be, you know, beneficial to people that look like me, and then just beneficial to everyone, because like I said, everyone has a story. And I get so sick of the whole like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can do anything that you want to do in this world. I want to make films. I'm one of those people, like, yeah, I'm pro-black, so if you're not, oh well, but I am, period. But like, I'm so tired of the same movies that they give black people. It's just, we're nothing but gangbangers, hoes, what is it, thugs. Like, I get so sick of seeing that. Like, why can't black people be fairies? Hello, why can't we have magical powers and like fly? You feel me? Like, how come there can't be a story about vampires being black? Like, and when I say being black, I don't mean us explaining how to be black. I literally just want a bunch of characters who happen to be black to just hang out. You know, like, the whole race thing is really weird to me. Like, if you're racist, I kind of think you have a mental illness. I'm gonna cut that. But essentially, I just want to see stories where I can see myself enacting that, because like, I've always wanted to see myself in a story that I think is like really cool. Like, I just don't understand why it's so hard for people to just make regular stories about people that just happen to be black, or happen to be Asian, or happen to be Native, or happen to be, you know, whatever race that you are. Like, and I'm not saying that white people aren't allowed to have their shows. They are. I just feel like we have so many shows with so many white people. I want to see something where we get a chance to shine. Like, in general, I just want to make stories that we can relate to, that I can relate to, that I can see myself in. And I feel like if nobody else is gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, because why not? Why not? I got a dream and I'm going for it. Period. Period. They're gonna say a new film directed by Elise.latia, and you know it's gonna be good because they're gonna say, oh, Elise.latia directed it? Now we got to go see that movie.
Focus for me. It's so high quality. It don't make no sense. Wait. All right. Is it giving Barbie? I can't see shit either. I can't see that either.
Okay, because I just know I'm finna cry. Because Beyonce finna hit that "Burn me off, I'm hot, hot, hot." Okay. And I'm gonna be up in that mug like, I gotta cool down, hit it. Okay, so excuse my face, I just got done crying. I just have something to say. Quick story time. Today is the anniversary of the 1 year mark of my father's passing. And I'm here at the cemetery now. And so if I'm gonna do this year in the life thing, then I have to do it right. And life is not always butterflies and rainbows. And so today I sit trying to grieve, because how do you grieve? You know, how do you know when to move forward without wanting to be sad, or without feeling like talking about your issues are a burden every now and then? But I sit here to say, like, I've learned some things in the past kind of year since my father has passed, and I just want to speak briefly on them, because it's hard to grieve. I don't even know how to grieve, so I guess this is me trying to grieve. Like, you know, again, one of the main reasons that I'm making the whole year in the life of Elise is to somewhat get my feelings out. And this is what I think. I think we live in a world where nobody cares enough. Everybody wants to just be happy and be okay and, you know, like, move forward, and nobody actually talks about how hard it is to actually move forward, to actually, you know, try to live your life. And I just turned 24, and I have no idea how to be an adult. I have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm going. I have my degree, but I'm not using it right now, which kind of sucks. And I say this to say, I think that we need to care about people even more, because that's how I would want to live my life. I want to live my life through love, and I understand that not everybody understands, but like, empathy is not that hard to figure out. And I'm trying not to make this a long video, but it might be, considering it has been a year since my father passed. My father's name is Rainier Charles Conley the first. And although I'm sitting here at his burial site, and we do not have a headstone for him because of reasons, one of the goals that I want to do, that I feel like is right, is for me to get a headstone with his full name. Because there are a lot of things that went down with his passing that hurt me, and that's okay. Because I want to do this, because this is something that I want to do. It is my choice to get him a headstone. So that is the plan, one day, sometime soon, hopefully. But I also wanted to speak on, well, this is harder than I thought it was. I also just wanted to speak on my dad for a little minute.
You're telling me you're an asshole, right?
I'm not gonna cry. But it's hard to realize that you used to talk to somebody every week, and now I just don't talk to anyone at all. We do this thing where we would call each other every Sunday, and no matter how mad I was at him, or how angry he made me or any of that stuff, he'd still call every Sunday. And if I missed a Sunday, he'd call that Monday. And I became so accustomed to that call because it was like, you know, every Sunday thing. Every Sunday he would call. That was just our thing. And then I remember sometimes that when I have my little fits and when I'm alone and I don't know who else to talk to, I call. It didn't matter what time of day it was, what time of night it was, if he was at work or not. I'd call and he'd pick up. And even if he didn't pick up, he'd call back within like 5 minutes. And it just makes me think about all the times he'd call and be like, oh, I didn't want nothing, I just wanted to hear your voice. And I get it. I didn't really get it back then, but I get it because I feel like I really want to hear his voice right now. Just to hear his voice. And I say that to say, my father was a flawed man, yes, but I still think he was a good person. He is part of the reason that I am who I am, regardless of anything. And I say this to say that, like, I miss him deeply. But on the other hand, I want to talk about how
You're telling me you're an Esper, right?
he truly is my best friend. And I just want to say that, you know, a lot of y'all know that I went to Alabama State at first, and you know, some stuff went down there too, but I just remember I was so fed up and I was so hurt and I was so tired, and I called him knowing that he didn't have a car at the time. And I told him, I was like, can you come get me? I didn't tell him what was wrong or anything like that, just told him, can you come get me? And you know, he started singing to me. Like the old weirdo that he is, he started singing to me. He said, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. And he said, I'm coming. And he came. And he came. And he saved me. And I feel like, yeah, that's my dad. My father is a hero. My hero. Because he came and got me. It didn't matter to him. I always knew that no matter what, he was coming to get me. And now that he's gone, I just feel like, who's coming to get me now? You know? And I don't take any of that for granted. I don't regret any of my tears. I don't regret any of the love that I had for my father. I don't regret any of the time that we spent together, any of the arguments, none of it. Because it made me who I am. And I'm proud to be his daughter. No matter how many people in the world tell me that my father was a fuck up, I don't care. I don't. Because he was my hero. My father. And he was a hero to everyone that he met. He was a hero to my friends. He was a hero to my brother's friends, to all of the kids that he had inspired and tried to teach. He may not have been the best person in the world, and I don't care what anyone else says, but at the end of the day, he did what he was supposed to do. And he was a good person. He had a good heart. And that is what I choose to remember. And that is what I choose to take with me. Throughout everything, that is what I choose to take with me. Because in those moments where he shined, he truly did shine. So, again, even though it has been a year, it's been a year full of crazy, over the top, emotional a year full of everything. And I just know that he wants me to live my life the way that I want to live it. And I know that he is proud of me every step of the way. So from this point on, I'm telling my story. This is my story. And this is how I get to where I want to be. How I feel fulfilled and how I get to the life that I want to have. And even though he is not here, I will never, ever forget him. I'll always have him in my heart. And I'll be able to tell, you know, hopefully one day I'll tell my kids about him. And, you know, when the time comes for me to see him again, I know I'll see him again. I have faith, and that is what I choose to believe. So, rest in peace, Daddy. I love you. I miss you. But you still a punk nigga.
You're telling me you're an Esper, right?
Excuse me, guys.
She got the light skinned person in the light, like we not both like.
Everybody relocate to the so I'm not gonna return it no more. Can I?
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Now you can just let me do it. Just let me do it. Look at the night. Look at the night. We're not gonna have a pumpkin.
Oh, you can't take it back now.
There's no plastic. The plastic is
Use this again.
gonna use it again.
Going back outside.
Costume malfunction. Had to have that like fix me up, y'all.
I'm attempting. Don't say nothing yet. Don't jinx it.
I mean, not trying to have my titties pop out, y'all.
Okay, I think I did something.
You think you did something?
I think I did it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I did it. Oh, yeah, I did it.
Hey, she did it. She did it. Costume fix. Let's go.
Gas what I smoke, nigga. Fans and let the drunk out the window, nigga. Now you can't get no money, silly hoe. I just see this thing.
My bear from Build-A-Bear. As you can see, he is Chicago Bears, period. And so shout out to Auntie Peachy for sending me him. There is this one little feature about him that I love. So that is my daddy's voice, and I decided to name the bear Pops. Starting today, I will be watching Attack on Titan from the beginning, season 1, all on to season 4, part 2, part 3, whatever part it is, considering that it's the last and final season, and it will be coming out on November 5th, so we will be doing an all-day binge, only because I'm off today, and then, yeah, let's go. But it's like, that's so cool because a tattoo is literally like a staple of life. That's kind of how I do cinema and stuff too, because like cinema is literally like moments in time that will like just be there. That will always be there. That shit is amazing to me. Damn, I'm fried. Oh my god.
We only smoked one.
That's what I'm saying, bitch. I'm drunk. Get in here. You're gonna be on my movie. I'm gonna put this on my movie. A Year in the Life, guys. My bestie JJ. J-Lo, period. Okay, and I love her hair color. What am I gonna do with my hair color next? Y'all hear Stink in the background? She's over there fucking that shit up. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna put that shit over there.
You fucking that shit up, like.
Girl, she is fucking that shit up. Go Stinky. The pizza might be here. Hi, Stinky.
Hello? Okay, thank you.
The four. It's Fanta.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Stink.
You're telling me you're an Esper, right?
Because this is funny. Oh my god, I think I was doing It's Christmas! Okay! I'm trying to make it look like a ball house. Yeah, look at him. There we go. There's this
You're telling
quote
me you're
from
an
Avatar:
Esper,
The
right?
Last Airbender where Uncle Iroh asks Zuko, "Who are you and what do you want?" Well, my name is Elise.latia and I am a director. I am a filmmaker.